Pisces, hey, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it, Pisces. I hope that things are moving well for you, well in your world. We are in the midst of Gemini season. Things are getting a little bit better, a little bit lighter, a little more momentum in the air, thank goodness. It's been long waited. It's definitely been an intense go these last few months. And like I said, Gemini season really brings in this value of opening up communication, pathways, etc. It's air energy, so it brings some fluidity within it. We're better able to kind of process through what has been happening, the mess that has been the past couple months, and find better, more wise ways to approach people, situations, etc. It's not the easiest because we're still dealing with our own disappointment, heartbreak over some of these things. The death of a dream is what I'm hearing for some of you, places where you really wanted something to look a certain way and it just didn't manifest that way. It's not necessarily bad, but there's grief, right? Like I feel like you, out of all the signs lately, Pisces, you've had a really good grasp on that reality, that it doesn't make it easier, it doesn't make it more fun to move through, but there is a level of acceptance, knowing that there is something better on the other side, even if you're not 100% at that point. It's like, feel it in your soul. I want to say, I know you feel it in your soul, not to like project anything onto you, but definitely this vibe that like, it's gonna be okay, right? You've put a lot of time, energy into things, and as much as it has been a rough go, there is that hope on the horizon. That's why I like to start off with these energy cleansings, just set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out any blocks, limitations we might be coming into. It's a really good time to set your own intention for the reading as well, Pisces, especially if you do have something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over, be open to receive. And I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing, wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, etc. Or if you are just looking for more of a realignment of self, mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we're feeling good and grounded in ourselves, when we know who we are, we're better able to make choices that we want to make, things that are actually bringing us happiness, fulfillment, attracting those desires of our heart, right? We all deserve to live that life, and wellness is really, in my opinion, the way to get there. So definitely hit me up. I would love to help, support in whatever way possible. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, Pisces, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being, so we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. Amen. All right, Pisces. So you feel like, I'm getting this energy, there is hope, like you are hopeful, but I think you're like pretty exhausted at the same time. You might be getting a lot of tension, headaches. I'm just picking up maybe a feeling of overwhelm. It could be some grief, some depression, some sadness. We're still kind of processing through everything that has been going on. Saturn just moved into Aries. So there's this value of like, where we were dealing with all the hardship around the emotions, around the feelings. As it's moved into Aries, it's like, okay, it's now time to put it into action, right? Like what you've heard, what you've learned, what you've seen, and start not putting your money where your mouth is, but just like start actually putting the work into play, right? I feel like we've been getting some time to kind of let our emotions run wild, if you will. And now it's time to rein it in a little bit more. It does kind of look like, I think you did deal with something unexpected. I feel like this week you're kind of seeing the blessing, the value of it. It's not easy. I think that I think something fell apart. I think something wasn't really glued together very well to begin with. It feels like it had a lot of pride, a lot of ego around it for everyone involved. I'm not just pointing the finger at you, Pisces, I promise. This just feels like, you know, one of those things. It worked for a minute, it worked for a period of time, but it lost wind because of this fact, because it's, sometimes we just like things to look a certain way, right? And sometimes the universe, spirit, God, however you understand it, knows better, or all the time. I don't know. You know, it seems like it, right? You know, sometimes we're allowed to move through those experiences for the sake of learning. It does look like this is something you've already started moving on from, right? And it looks like this week you're getting even more confirmation, because I'm hearing like someone's finally admitting something. Someone's finally admitting the truth. Page of Wands, Two of Wands. So it looks like there's just difficulties from everyone involved, right? Not anything is clear cut. And as much as I feel like maybe there's a lot of finger pointing and blaming with whatever led to this thing falling apart. Oh my gosh. I love it. Sorry. I swear I didn't even look as the tower pops out. Cards never lie. It doesn't really matter, right? Like, it doesn't matter who was right, who was wrong, because everybody played a role. And what I'm seeing with this confessions is someone's actually being a little bit more honest this week. And I think a lot of this, sometimes, again, it's hard to see when we're in the heat of it, when we're in the moment, but like, is really spirit protecting you? Spirit protecting you, and spirit giving you an out in a way that, like, again, maybe it's not what you wanted, but it's way better off. You're way better off in the long run. As we're walking in the Emperor, Aries energy, the very thing that is in your blocked energy. So just dealing with someone or something that is very difficult. Just someone who doesn't have the same values. They're out of alignment, especially as it comes to like what it means to build stability, happy partnership, happy relationship. Even if this is not specifically related to love for you, you know, this can be partnerships of all kinds. You've made a choice. You've made a choice to walk away, or yeah, you're in that process of moving away from something. I think this is a hard choice for you to make, because there's this part of you that feels stupid and selfish. Like, you're actually kind of putting yourself down about it, you know? And I think this is the very thing that you're going to get some confirmation on this week. Maybe you took on a lot or the bulk of the responsibility for this person, them pointing the finger at you a lot. It was very easy for them to do because they had leverage. They had something over you. They had something to their advantage. But they weren't living by their rules. They were the rule maker, but they didn't live by them, you know? And there might have been some like sneaky stuff happening in the background, i.e. something that's coming to light this week, something that's actually confirming, no, you know, Pisces, this wasn't actually you being foolish and stupid. You might have made a decision in a way that you normally wouldn't have, but again, because you were like fighting someone's ego, so to speak. Sometimes, yeah, 100%. Like, sometimes we do have to take action because these types of people situations are very, very hard to get away from, right? They are the people that have control, that want control at all times. And it can be really overwhelming. It can be really overwhelming. And like I said, very difficult to get away from as well. But here's the thing. it looks like they wanted to get away from you too. You know, it looks like it went both ways. Though they did not say it, their actions are going to show it 100%, you know? And I feel like, again, this is something that you're carrying a lot of shame around for whatever reason. Maybe because you were the one who pulled the trigger, so to speak, right? You were the one who actually made some choices. And again, they feel a little bit rash, or that's how you're looking at it. You're looking at it like kicking yourself. Well, if only I had done X, Y, and Z, it would have been different. And the reality is, no, I don't think it was going to be different. I think at some point it would have come to head and a decision would have had to have been made 100%. Because it wasn't clear cut. It wasn't clear cut. Maybe there could have been more options, maybe. But here's the thing, with Pluto moving into Aquarius, yes, we can go back to the drawing board with people. We can readjust. We can try to change dynamics and patterns, which in and of itself is a really hard thing to do, right? But if both parties are not on board, if both parties are not putting effort into it, well then, right? There's your answer right there. And so you can try as many, different avenues as you want, but until that other person gets on board, you're kind of stuck, you know? It's not your responsibility. Love is all around you. There is love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this truth. Sometimes we don't feel loved. Maybe you're not going to feel loved as some of this stuff comes out, because it does feel kind of like a dirty secret. It does feel like someone kept something from you, or there's some betrayal behind it, something that's not going to feel so good. But just remember, that's not necessarily love, right? It's someone reacting out of their hurt and pain. And Spirit just wants you to take a minute to slow down, right? When you are excited, you get ahead of yourself. Take some time to allow things to unfold. We are in a period where there has been a constant message of patience, 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 right? And this is about don't stop working at something, but release the control. Continue to plug in, continue to network, do what you got to do. But don't try to force the agenda, right? And I feel like also when we're getting this message of patience, it's time to slow down. Be at peace with yourself. Be at rest, or take the rest that you need, Pisces. You don't have to be going a million miles a minute. Show simple acts of kindness. A simple act of kindness can energize you and bring happiness to those around you. I feel like this is not just with people around you. I feel like this is more towards yourself. Be nice to you, right? Be nice to you. Embrace the places in your life where you are supported, where you are loved, where people are feeding into you in a positive way. Especially with whatever is coming out this week, I think you're going to need a little extra love, a little extra TLC. Try to give yourself that as well through self-care, love, nurture, and just, be content, be at peace to whatever capacity you can. I know that's easier said than done, but I'm just thinking about how when we surrender, how when we let go, and we just kind of rest in the goodness, be present in the goodness, it really helps us move through the bullshit that much easier. It's stuff you already know, right? It's stuff you're already moving through. It's stuff that, is going to be a little provoking, but at the same time, you're going to get through it. You're going to heal from it. And a lot of what's coming out is just confirmation of what you already know. So Godspeed, Pisces, sending all the love your way this week. It looks like it's going to be heavy, but you got this 100%. Thank you so much for your time, energy always. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope you found messages that resonated for you here. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I love to hear, or just say, hey, share in a little love, little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support that you bring to the channel. No, I'm sending it back your way.